Okay, I am live. Oh crap! Left my lighter someplace, so I don't have my lighter for my candle. Damn it! I guess we can't do this video today. We're at a terrible time slot once again. 5:50 is not a good time slot. What's up, man? So, not going to get a lot of people to jump on today. That's okay. Whoa, I got 10 already though. That's fun. It's usually a terrible, terrible time to do this. I like to do it in the middle of the day when you guys are working and require a work break. I don't have a ton of time right now because I'm going to be jumping on Nasty Business. That's a nice name. I'm going to be jumping on, I got consultations and stuff afterwards. So you waited for me, bro. Mindset Monday on Tuesday. So sometimes I go, this is why sometimes I go on military weekends and stuff, and I got to spend a long weekend past a Sunday into a Monday sometimes, doing things for the military, doing things for the reserve component, National Guard now. So that's where I end up going. Sometimes you won't find me on Rule Zero. And sometimes I usually can make it back in time to do a Monday show, but it just didn't happen yesterday. So we got to make it happen today. It's just the way it goes, guys. I appreciate the support, though. It doesn't usually happen. Usually I'm back in the game by Monday, but it just wasn't able to happen. I had too many other commitments. But we're here now, and so we're going to talk about arguing with idiots, particularly online arguments. All right. And this is a mindset thing. And this is really bad for your mental health. This is bad for your productivity. And it's bad for your ability to accomplish stuff. And I know a lot of guys who are in the chat who watch, my videos. You get caught up in this stuff. You get on forums or Reddit or Facebook or social media or Twitter, and you start having these debates with people. You start having these arguments, right? And so Chris Penman says they will drag you down to their level and best you with experience. Well said. Could probably end the video right there. Okay. Chris gets it. Okay. And every now and then I get caught up in it. We all do. You start talking to somebody about something, and the next thing you know, you're sucked into this cesspool of a discussion, and it's very irritating. All right, and here's why it's irritating. Okay, all right, it's okay. It's one thing to debate, right? To debate somebody, all right, but in an internet discussion or a casual discussion or whatever, these are not debate situations. What is a debate? A debate is where two people are coming together to argue an idea that are generally opposing ideas, right? They're arguing for or against something, a point, or they're arguing for two opposing ideas. Okay. So that's generally speaking. And what happens is you have two different sides of an argument, and then there is a moderator and a set of rules of some sort so that the debate could be fairly gauged. Okay. And so then the idea of a debate is to best your opponent, okay, with words and evidence, best them with your argument. All right. And to do so within the confines of a moderator and rules. And then there's some moderator usually, or a set of judges, or even if the judges are just the public, it's up to them to decide who won based on that back and forth discussion, right? Or that debate. But here's the thing, an internet discussion, right, particularly, isn't a debate. Why isn't it a debate? Because the biggest loser, who has the most time on his hands, can put the most amount of energy and time into this useless argument with you. Therefore, it's not a level playing field. It's not like I have 5 minutes, he has 5 minutes, there's time for a rebuttal, whatever, and there's rules moderating this. Okay. It's a free for all on the internet. So that's not an actual debate. What that is a discussion. And discussions are different than debates. Now, when you enter a discussion with somebody and it's about we'll say a philosophical point, right? Whatever it may be, a set of ideas, okay? That discussion is only going to be productive if that other person is open to hearing your points that you're making and open to conceding and being wrong and open to wanting to learn more about the topic, right? That person is coming from a standpoint of being closed and looking only to win or beat you in a debate, then there is no productive discussion that can be had, right? So it's the biggest loser actually that usually wins. There's no winning at all, but if there was, it's the biggest loser, and it's won through filibustering. Who writes the most, who spends the most time, and so on and so forth. And so this is there's no rules or moderation or standard for that discussion. It's just not it's not a debate at all where there's a fair playing field. It's like, it's not like a fair fight, right? We could go into a boxing ring and have a boxing match, but then it's not really fair if we're like, okay, cool, we just did 3 rounds, and then you go to sleep at night after putting your kids to bed, and then I sneak up from under the bed and beat the crap out of you. You know what I mean? Like, and I say I win, right? Well, wait a second, we're not abiding by the same rules here, right? And so it's just it ends up being a lot of nonsense. It ends up being a lot of bullshit. And here's the problem with it, though. It drags you down into complete idiocy because these people are idiots. If a person, so when I say idiot, right, what do I mean by an idiot? An idiot is a person who is, we could do a lot of definitions, but by my definition of idiot, it's somebody who has cognitive dissonance. It's somebody who is biased and who's only looking to confirm their bias, right? Versus look at something objectively and try to find out the truth. So I guess that's what I'm getting at here is a discussion can be productive if both people are trying to get to the truth. What does getting to the truth entail? Well, that means that I'm going to bring up points and I might even bring up questions, right? Or thoughts or ideas. The other person brings up points. The other person brings up questions or thoughts or ideas. And then I might be wrong on something that, because then that other person points that out, but that's okay, right? Because I'm trying to get to the truth. And so then, but maybe he might be wrong on a point or whatever. We back and forth. We come to something. Maybe we don't agree on what the truth is, but we're both in pursuant of what that objective truth is, right? We're both pursuing the same goal. That's a discussion. A discussion is not combative. A discussion is where you and another person are pursuing the same goal. You might not agree, okay? You might not agree, but at least you're not trying to beat this person, okay, through nonsense, right? You're not trying to win some contest. It's like somebody, you ever been at a red light, somebody revs their engine or peels out once the light turns green, and you're like, oh, what? I didn't even know I was in a race, bro. All right. That's what internet discussions are like, right? And so with a lot of people, they're trying to win or beat you, okay, when there's no contest that should be happening. It should be a discussion. It should be in pursuant of truth. And that's the difference, right? That's the difference between a productive exchange with somebody and a discussion of ideas and talking to an idiot. See, an idiot, they're not going to be able to look at evidence and facts and data from an objective, neutral standpoint and then be able to try to come up with conclusions based off of that. An idiot has a set of ideas that they're unwavering and unbudging on those ideas. They're unwilling to succeed those ideas, no matter what evidence is brought to the table. So you bring evidence to the table and they say, well, no, that evidence isn't good enough. Oh, so you go, okay, well, here's some more evidence. And then they go, well, okay, that would be good enough if that were true, but I don't trust the source that you have another source. Well, here's an article. Okay, well, you have a primary source. Well, here's a primary source. Well, I don't have a membership to that publication, so I can't see it. You see what I mean? It's just an idiot game, right? And then it's just a game where they filibuster you. You'll find yourself wasting time and energy finding sources. And then they come around with, well, you made a claim, so you have to now back it up. No, you lazy fuck. Why don't you go on the internet and look this shit up and find it out for yourself? If they were in pursuance of truth, they would be looking shit up on their own to see if what was claimed was true or not. They might ask for a source, but they would also be looking for stuff too and looking for answers. No, Bond, I'm not doing call-ins. I don't even know how to do call-ins, bro. Well, I'm going to get to that eventually, though. We'll get call-ins eventually. But so it's like they're not pursuing the same goal you are. If you're like a red pill type of a person, right? If you're not all red people claim to be red pill, I like this, but if you're that person who's questioning beliefs and challenging ideas and looking for answers and truth, you may come into an internet discussion with that idea. Then someone says a bunch of things that are false, right? And you're like, well, no, that's not true. A, B, and C. All right. And if this person was pursuant of truth, then it would be a discussion. And then if you were right, they would concede your point. If they were right, you would concede theirs. It'd be fine, right? But that's not what is happening. So what happens is these people are not pursuant of truth. They're not looking at things objectively. They're really looking to confirm their own ideas. And that's the definition of an idiot. All right. So don't be an idiot, number one. But number two, don't argue with idiots, because idiots are not, it's the most unproductive thing you can do. And it's complete insanity is really what it is. So you get dragged down to the level of insanity that they're on. You allow yourself to enter their frame and to be dragged into their level of insanity where they set arbitrary rules. For me to tell somebody, like, for example, if someone, you provide someone with a primary source and they tell you, well, I don't agree with that evidence. I don't know if that evidence is credible. Well, why isn't it credible? Well, I think, because I don't trust that publication. Well, I mean, you're dealing with crazy now. You see what you know what I mean? Someone's all right, the world is flat. You're like, no, the world is round. And they're like, nope, it's flat. And you're like, okay, no, it's round. And then you bring some evidence to the table and they're like, nah, that's conspiracy. That's not real evidence. What do you do with that? They're not doing their due diligence to say, well, let me, this whole group of people said the earth was flat. They're called flat earthers. But maybe I'll look into this other stuff on my own. And you made that point. Let me look that up and see what things you're talking about here. That's not what they're doing. They're just looking to negate anything you say, which is a crazy discussion. You're in crazy land when you are in that discussion. You're in a insanity mode, right? This is now you're now reduced to idiocy. Okay, when you get into that it's not even a real discussion, right? It's a conversation where this person is just looking to verify their own beliefs and will not budge or move on their beliefs, regardless of anything you say or any evidence you bring to the table. Then it's no longer a discussion. You might as well talk to the wall or the ceiling. You'll have a better time. All right. All this person is going to do is give you the intellectual runaround, filibuster, throw a long post out there with a lot of nonsensical points. Okay. Not addressing your evidence or whatever. Tell you your evidence isn't accurate. And then you find other evidence and they tell you, well, that's not reliable either. And with no real rhyme or reason why. Making up rules. Well, you made a claim. You have to come up with the evidence behind that. Yeah. In a debate, I do, or in a scientific discussion, I do, but in a scientific research, I need to come up with evidence for my claim. In a debate, I'm going to have to come up with evidence for the claim I make. But if I make a claim and I say, here's some evidence out there, and you say that's not good enough, but you need to come up with evidence for your claim or otherwise your claim is invalid, that's a rule you made up. That's a rule you made up in arbitrary exchange we're having, right? Because if I bring evidence to the table and you don't like the evidence, that doesn't mean that the evidence is invalid just because you don't like it, right? In fact, I don't even need to bring evidence to the table at all in a discussion. I could say, you know what? I heard this. You'd be like, you have a source for that? I don't. I just think that this is true and I heard it. It's not a debate. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. And it's up to you to go, oh, okay, well, let me see if that's credible or not. Now that doesn't sound right. Here's why it doesn't sound right. Or I don't know if that's right or not. Let me look it up. Let me see if there's anything on that. Oh, here's some stuff that says that thing you just said is wrong. So I don't think so. Or, oh, hey, look, this stuff here just said the thing you said is correct. So I learned something today. You see what I mean? There's a participation that both sides are having to get to the truth in a discussion that's productive. All right. But most of these exchanges on the internet or in person, even when you're dealing with somebody's safe world theories, somebody's biases, the set of beliefs that they have to have, or they're going to be uncomfortable and anxious and living in the world, they're going to double down, triple down, quadruple down on those ideas and beliefs, no matter what evidence you have to bring. If somebody's safe world theory hinges on conspiracy theories and, let's say, believing the earth is flat and the whole planet is in a conspiracy to say something else, doesn't matter what data you bring to the table. It doesn't matter how you phrase things. It doesn't matter how you argue things. You're trying to have a fair discussion or even a debate with somebody that is not having a fair discussion or a debate with you. And you will make yourself crazy. It is bad for your mental health. It'll make you angry. It'll make you annoyed. It'll make you frustrated. It'll make you irritated. And it's frustrating because you're operating on a set of standards and this other person has no standards because they're an idiot. And then it's even more frustrating because you're not dealing with an idiot and you are putting yourself on that idiot's level to try to have some discussion with them. Let me put it like this. It'd be like if I worked at the zoo. Okay. And I worked in a zoo and there's I worked in the reptile exhibit. Okay. And then I try to have conversations with the reptiles about the sexual marketplace. I try to talk to the reptiles about dating. And the reptiles they just look at me. Okay. Because they don't care what I'm saying, whatever. And they're doing their own thing. And then I come home after work and I'm frustrated. I'm mad because these reptiles are not having a discussion with me. Right? That makes any sense. A better one. Let's pick a primate. I'm in the chimpanzee exhibit and I'm trying to discuss politics with chimpanzee and they're busy throwing their poop at me. Okay. And yelling and banging on the glass that they're behind or whatever. All right. At the zoo. And I'm mad because they're not having a reasonable discussion with me. Right? I'm mad. I'm irritated because I'm trying to talk to them about something and convince them of something, and they're busy throwing poop and slapping on the glass. That is essentially what you're doing when you have these discussions with people. When you're on the internet having a conversation with somebody, and they are talking from a standpoint of cognitive dissonance and looking only to verify their beliefs and not to challenge them, they're looking not for the pursuit of truth, but for the pursuit of being right. They are flinging their own poop. They are literally on the internet throwing their own poop. And you are getting in there going, hey, let's have a debate. And then they're throwing poop. You see? So your only choices end up being is to walk away from that. You can make a statement and say, nope, that's wrong. That's bullshit. Here's reality. Have a nice day. Better yet would be to not engage it at all because who are you convincing? Nobody. So now you're wasting your valuable time and energy. So your choices are to walk away from it or to throw poop with them. And if you sit there and spend time throwing poop all day on the internet, you're going to turn around and be very angry with yourself for being so unproductive and it's just useless, right? It's useless, irritating, frustrating, dealing with idiots all the time. You have to insulate yourself from stupid people. You really do. All right. And I mean that with all the compassion in the world. And I don't even mean low IQ people necessarily. I mean just stupid people, All right. And a stupid person is a person who is so stuck on their own beliefs and ideas. And so I can't even talk about this like clearly because it's frustrating me because of how stupid people are. You see what I mean? Like even breaching the topic right now is frustrating because of the stupidity of everyone. Just go on anywhere. Just go anywhere and look around you and just look at the stupidity. I mean, this is why I don't do shit. This is why I'm not on fucking Twitter, dicking around very often other than to post my own shit. I have to insulate myself from all this bullshit because people are so fucking dumb now. They're just so fucking stupid. And they're fucking stupid because they don't critically think. Critical thinking is being able to challenge your own belief and pursuing truth. Don't do that. And that is the norm now. The norm is to be a stupid. So you have to insulate yourself from stupid fucks, period. Okay, period. Whew. All right. You have to. It's just you will go crazy. Even talking about it makes me it pisses me off, even talking about it, how dumb people are. Because they are causing all the ills and problems in the world. You know what I mean? With their stupidity. And it's very frustrating. So it's just no point. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of your own happiness. It's a waste of all of it to waste time with stupid fucking idiots. All right. So you can't have these debates, discussions. You're not having a fair discussion with people. What you're actually doing is you're in the situation. Okay. You're putting yourself in a situation to throw poo at somebody else. That's what you're doing. You're getting sucked into, like crabs in a barrel, sucked into being an idiot yourself. You get put into a situation where you're now an idiot because you're trying. It would be idiotic for me to try to have a logical, reasonable discussion with chimpanzees throwing their poop, right? Well, that's what the other person is the equivalent of when you're and what you're doing essentially when you're trying to have a discussion with them. If they're not pursuing truth just like you, if they're not trying to see reality for what it is, even if they have a different opinion than yours, if they're not trying to see things objectively and have an objective discussion rather than be right or try to win some weird internet trophy for internet debating, right? If they don't, they're not coming from that standpoint of being pursuant of truth, then you're wasting time. You're not having a discussion anymore. All right. And that will bring you down mentally and emotionally, and it'll waste your time. All things, and it'll waste your energy. All things you can't afford to waste. All right. If you're pursuing excellence, you're trying to be the best version of you, being a six-figure guy, being a multi-six-figure guy, okay, banking $1 million, these sorts of things, building your business, building your passion, right? Having time for women, having the mental stability and emotional stability to deal with women, raising your kids, building things in your life. These things require time, energy, effort that you cannot waste. You cannot waste it. And you will put yourself in a mental space and an emotional space that will make you ineffective in pursuing those things when you have debates and discussions with idiots. I make the mistake sometimes, and I always correct it sooner than later. But some people do this on like a daily, weekly basis. A lot of you guys listening, I know, do that. I've been guilty before. You can't do it. It's such a big fat waste. It's not your job to correct their stupidity. All right. It's not your job. It's not your responsibility. Their problems are their problems. When you're trying to convince somebody of something, you're making their problems your problems and your problems to fix. In other words, their problem is that they're wrong, and you're going to try to fix that wrong by convincing them. It's never a good result when that's what it is, when that's what you're doing. Okay. Again, now I've had great discussions with people. I've had great discussions with people who disagree with me. I have great discussions with you guys, that are in the chat, and some of you guys in consultations. Even if you're unsure, you disagree, or you're trying to, come up, get to the bottom of something, and you ask me questions, or even challenge me. That's fine. Challenging each other in a discussion is a good thing. It's healthy, but there's a difference between challenging someone because you're both pursuant of truth and you're having a discussion or in an exchange, right? There's also a difference between a debate where you are fighting, essentially, you're trying to win, but it's moderated and it's fair, right? There's a conclusion at the end of it. But having a poofling contest with somebody, which is what a argument with an idiot is a complete, nothing could be more of a waste of your energy and time in life. Okay. So let's see. Ooh, I am way past the time. I got to bounce, guys. I won't be able to answer your questions today, but next time I'm live, we'll hit them up, save them and ask me, or shoot me an email. All right. I'm about a little bit late for my consultation. So thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Part of the shadow banning is to have that notification bell get shut off on you every now and then. I don't know why that happens, but it only seems to happen on channels like mine where we don't follow the status quo of woke culture and all that sort of thing. So I need your support. I appreciate it. And keep an eye on that notification bell and hit it, because when I do these live streams, you'll get the notification. You can hop on. And usually I'm a little bit better at interacting with you guys. So answering questions and all that. Anyways, thanks again, guys. Have a great week.